To no one's surprise, it turns out Japan is not exactly happy with Assassin's Creed. We was samurais. Who would have expected that, huh?
Well, it took a little while, but games media is finally covering what Ubisoft did with that reenactment group's flag over in Japan
They blatantly stole it.
and how they pretty much lifted that banner straight up and used it in the game. They got busted a while ago, actually, and nobody covered it. Finally, at least as you can see, the latest was 3 days ago. They're finally talking about it. What's interesting is how, unless you push them to talk about this kind of stuff, they're completely ignoring it when it comes to Assassin's Creed Shadows.
It's not just Assassin's Creed Shadows. Games journalists are exactly like all other types of journalists. They're just blatant shills for the machine. They serve one purpose, and that is to spew out whatever narrative is demanded of them. They have no integrity, and they just do anything for their stupid message that no one cares about. And when you don't care about, they call you stupid, they call you a bigot, and other things. They don't care about the truth. None of these places do. You probably know what happened today, and you know what CNN's headlines were about what happened at the Trump rally? It was, oh, Trump fell on the stage and security services rushed to his aid. And that was the initial headline for a lot of news outlets, not just CNN. A lot of them are going with that.
You have a lot of voices in Japan that are being completely ignored by some of the biggest activists out there. Usually, they're always looking out for the best interests of people, right? They're very
Well, they're not actually looking out for the best interests. Plus, this is Japan. You know why Stop Asian Hate just instantaneously vanished overnight? Because Stop Asian Hate was initially a try to discourage Republicans and effectively just another stupid campaign to call them racists. Then the people who actually were sold on this Stop Asian Hate idea actually looked into what's happening. And then it turns out white people are not even remotely responsible for any kind of Asian hate or whatnot. Okay? Turns out it was another group of minorities who are very much responsible for that. And it gets even worse if you understand statistics. Because we are talking about two groups of minorities who geographically don't even interact. And yet the violence rate is abysmally, unbelievably high. Which only leads to one conclusion, which I'm not going to say here. But yeah, that's why Stop Asian Hate just vanished overnight. Because it was not fitting the narrative.
very virtuous. But when it comes to the people in Japan and what they're saying about Assassin's Creed Shadows, including a now politician over in Japan, he's calling the game cultural theft. And
Dude, that's not cultural theft. This is literally a blatant attempt to rewrite history and destroy Japan. It's nothing else but that, honestly, at this point. But what do you honestly expect when one of the lead people behind Assassin's Creed in their Twitter bio had dedicated black master race slam pig? Yeah. Yeah. Not much you can expect from that, obviously. And, well, it's obviously insanity. One of the main protagonists is a honorable samurai that's pretty much being deified as some kind of deity at this point. Everyone bows down to him, Yasuke, when he just passes you by and says, "Thank you for saving us, oh lord." And it's a complete rewrite of history. He's like this amazing god tier samurai that is honorable, but at the same time, just kills everyone in honor, without honor, and stomps on their dead bodies and whatnot. What great honor we have here. 10 out of 10, honestly. 10 out of 10. This is just an attempt at destroying Asian culture, and that's pretty much it. Particularly Japan's in this case. And then you have Yongya saying, "This is good. This is fine." Because he's not Japanese. He's from a group of people that hate the Japanese.
None of the games outlets are covering it. The damage control and shilling that they're doing for this game, and ignoring the voices of the people that the game is based on, is rather interesting because they're the first ones to come out and call people racist or sexist, and they're completely ignoring the
Everything.
cultural appropriation of Japan with this game. It's almost like they don't care really, and we know why they're doing that, because it's got old Yusuke in it.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody in the world is a Yusuke expert now. They all know the truth. They know more about this guy than they do about.
It's pretty insane. Before this, the truth about this guy was pretty undisputed. That he was just effectively a slave clown for Nobunaga, and that's pretty much it. That was completely not even disputed. No one thought ever that he was an actual real samurai or anything like it. He was just a clown, gifted to Nobunaga, and that's pretty much it. But now, no, he was. Obunaga's like. I don't even know what to call him, but yeah. It's wild. They have rewritten the whole Wikipedia on this character by now. It's insane.
About anything else in Japanese.
And the funniest part is this is actually a very well documented historic figure in the sense that he has absolutely nothing in history that even would even remotely put him in a position of being even close to a samurai. But there you have it. I mean, it doesn't matter.
History. It's funny, really funny. They're all Yusuke experts now. And you've got these people in Japan very upset. That petition is now, I think, over 80,000 signatures, getting really damn close to 100,000 signatures. And those people are being completely...
That was the petition, I think, about banning Assassin's Creed Shadows in Japan.
Ignored. And I'm just waiting now, because this is really heating up over in Japan. My channel has not a huge Japanese audience, but it's grown significantly since I started covering this game. No one is covering it. No one's talking about it. They're very upset. Large YouTubers are talking about it.
And there are people covering it, but honestly, how much you can cover about this before it gets stale, even for yourself.
And it's completely ignored by Western media. They have nothing to say this time. And I'm just waiting for them to start calling Japan xenophobic and racist. I'm just waiting for it.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. Because the louder they get, they're going to have to think of something. So they're going to start calling, I guarantee you, they're going to start calling Japanese gamers problematic and how they need to change. Not realizing that once again, now
I think they're going to completely ignore this and pretend it never happened, because modern media cannot have a situation where some kind of group that it's considered the minority in some case is not for them, because that completely destroys the narrative.
They're pushing their culture on Japan, which they've been doing for a long time. Western hypocrites, these activists, always talk about how Japan needs to change, but notice they don't do that with any other country. Japan is somehow the worst, considering some of the atrocities that happen in the Middle East. Japan is the worst one,
Obviously.
And they need to change right now. Got to get rid of those problematic Japanese values. For one, they don't like the entertainment that they put out and how popular it's getting. They've been trying to wiggle their way into that country for a long time. So you've got this politician, Satoshi Hamada. He's a member of the
wasn't he the new prime minister?
House of Councilors, the upper house of the National Diet in Japan. One of the two members of the Independent Party to Protect the People from NHK, a party whose platform is built on opposing the government broadcasters' TV, all but mandatory licensing fees, and whose membership has fallen apart on a recent leadership.
Was the previous Prime Minister of Japan Satoshi something? Or is it the new one? I can't remember.
Dispute.
But I think it
Hamada
was
has
Satoshi.
recently joined the ranks of many Japanese nationals who have found themselves outraged over the numerous historical inaccuracies presented in Ubisoft's upcoming game. By the way, I saw a post. I don't.
Bro, I can't wait until someone says, but this is fiction, it's not real life.
I don't know Mandarin and I don't know Japanese, but this was posted by Packer Girl over on Twitter, and there's allegations out there now that they screwed up and they're using Mandarin symbols in some of the wording on buildings instead of obviously Japanese. Japanese, I don't know what you call it, kanji.
Kanji,
I don't know what you call their language in the written form, but they're using Mandarin. Now,
Mandarin, wait, let me Google that. I think Mandarin was Chinese. Is Mandarin a Chinese dialect? Does Mandarin count as Chinese? Yes, Mandarin is Chinese. Yeah, the Japanese do not want... The Japanese do not want you to think they're Chinese. I can tell you that much for a fact. In fact, that's pretty goddamn racist.
I didn't look too much into that, so maybe it's nothing, because I don't know the differences in how they look. But given what's happened so far with this game, I wouldn't be shocked if it was true. Because they've already screwed up, they've screwed up the buildings, they're stealing banners, and now that. Oh, and also they're lying about.
I would not be even remotely surprised that the people at Ubisoft, I say people lightly by the way, think that Japanese is the same as Chinese. I would not even doubt for a second that a lot of people think that Chinese are just the same as Japanese. No question in my mind.
About Yasuke, who was never a samurai. He was a retainer. So on July...
Well, it's even honestly hard to call him a retainer because that status even was given to him just because, well, you can't exactly be a shogun or person of power and someone next to you is just no one. That is not honorable. So he got a title for, otherwise it would look bad on Nobunaga.
July 11th, Amada retweeted a post from a fellow Japanese ex-user summarizing the various issues local players have had with Assassin's Creed Shadows presentation, such as how some of its buildings feature Chinese instead of Japanese architecture, or how a lowly servant can be seen sitting on the same level as Oda himself. So this is what I was talking.
Now this is a smaller thing though, but yeah, you're supposed to sit higher.
About with the architecture, Chinese architecture instead of Japanese, and this really exposes how useless these DEI consultants are for them to get so much wrong, because they had a consultant work with them. I believe it was a Western professor who's into some strange shit. At least the stuff that she researched was pretty gross.
Oh, yeah, wasn't that professor some kind of absolute animal?
Gross and disgusting. I don't even want to get into it, but plenty of people have covered that lady. Alongside this retweet...
Yeah, I don't remember what it was, honestly, but dude, that professor was just effectively some kind of complete insane fetishist.
The politician made a request for opinions to the general public, informing them, "We have received a consultation regarding the alteration of Japanese history by a French game company. We share the consultation below with images. We have also quoted a post that we believe points out the problem with the game in question. We would be happy to receive your comments and suggestions, including specific requests." Further, Hamada shared a list of related concerns that had already been brought to his attention, which, in addition to the above points, also made note of the possibility that Yasuke's prominence in the game's plot could lead to the misconception that he had a bigger role in Japanese history than he actually did. And yes, they are doing that.
Yep.
His role in this game is not reflective of what he actually did.
Dude, his role in this game is to be a literal god for the Japanese. That's what it honestly is.
Less than 24 hours, Hamada shared an update writing, "Thank you for your many comments about the new Assassin's Creed series of games set in Japan. In relation to the above, we received a consultation from another person about cultural theft and cultural invasion regarding Yusuke, black man who served Oda. I will share the content of the consultation with you." From here, Hamada proceeded to share 2 tweets worth of images showing feedback he had received from Japanese citizens regarding the game. And there's a whole bunch. In fact, I see comments in Japanese on my videos when I cover this, but I can't translate them in the studio. I think what I want to do is take a lot of these, because my audience has gone up. Like, the people that watch my content from Japan has grown since this game came out, or since the news for this game came out. What I'd like to do is go and translate them and maybe show those in a video, because I think what they have to say is important. And it's wild to me. It's still wild to me that they're being completely ignored and brushed off. And none of these
Hey, it doesn't matter if you're a minority. If you don't fit the narrative, you're just a problem.
outlets are giving them any spotlight. In fact, most of these outlets are acting like there's nothing wrong with this game. And if it had been any other country, they'd be jumping up and down, going crazy, throwing things, punching holes in their drywall. Because never forget how they treated Ghost of Tsushima and the developers of that game, who did a much better job compared to these clowns working on this game. And they treated them like shit. They tried.
Well, the problem with Ghost of Tsushima was that one of the people in the leading position was not a dedicated Black Master Race slam pig. It is what it is.
Tried to destroy them, discredit them, make them look like fools. And for this game, it's all good. A white woman wrote this game, and they have nothing to say about it.
And she is the one that I have been mentioning, by the way.
They don't care. But you had a group of white men who developed Ghost of Tsushima, and that was amazing.
Oh, by the way, I don't think we're actually talking enough about the secondary character. You know, the other one, the twink, she, they, them, or whatever it's supposed to be. Because I still don't know, is that a woman or is that a man? It's so androgynous. There's no way it's not some kind of magical twink or whatever. In any case, that's it. Ubisoft is trash and they should feel bad about themselves. Yellow Flash do. 10 out of 10, bye-bye.